Welcome back, students. So, in this session, I shall discuss what is strategic pay and how strategic pay decisions are made in the organization and what are the bases for this decision. So, what is strategic pay or compensation? So, every organization has a different pay package or compensation package devised. So, strategic compensation, it is an approach by human resource managers or employers in order to attract, retain, and grow talented employees in their organization while keeping in mind that the behavior of these employees and their job performance is in alignment with their organization goals and objectives. Now, how do we curate these strategic pays or compensation packages? So, you can use different methods while curating it, but the most utilized method is by using benchmarking. So, what is benchmarking? We all know it is using of best practices. So, what we do in benchmarking is we take a component of our organization and we compare it with our competitors to see where we are lacking or what process can be improvised. So, similarly, when it comes to compensation, so here in benchmarking, organization they benchmark their reward processes or compensation processes with their competitors, again with the same objective to attract the talented people and also to provide them right compensation packages without having to pay more than required or less than the market rate. So thus you can also manage cost here. So here we are trying to find a good balance between competitiveness of the organization but also trying to minimize the cost also, and this can be done with benchmarking. But another important thing to remember here is when you're benchmarking your organization compensation processes or reward processes, always make sure that it's not just necessary that the firm or the organization with which you're comparing is not just in the same industry but also is having similar, is a similar firm like yours, is into similar product or services, or is having similar organization structure and the nature of the job is same. Otherwise there is no use of benchmarking just because they have a standard procedure. It may not fit your organization. So that is something to be kept in mind. So the next one is salary surveys. So usually what happens in organization, all your human resource managers, they are asked to create a base pay structure or to revise the existing pay structure. So what happens? The professionals, HR professionals, they'll try to make a salary survey wherein they collect the data about the salaries or pay structure of competitors or different companies basically in the market. So it is also called as market based pay structure because we are surveying the market and based on the data collected we are analyzing that data and then making our pay structure. So basically before beginning the survey what they do is they collect proper information about the jobs about which pay structure is being collected. So whether it is a single job or a group of jobs that has to be evaluated. So background information about it is collected. Then they will start determining what are the data sources, that is from where exactly this data will be collected. You cannot collect the data of pay structure from all the companies or all the firms in the industry, right? So you'll have to figure out those companies which are similar, operating in similar to your organization or having similar businesses like you. So once you have figured out the data sources, then you collect the data, you conduct the market analysis, that is you conduct the survey, collect the data, then you develop the pay structure. Now that you have come up with different pay structure than earlier, cost comparison will be made. Whether earlier compensation package was costlier or this is costlier, and again decision have to be made pertaining to this. So once everybody's approval is there or the concerned people has approved the new compensation structure or policies, then it will be implemented and again evaluated. So whether it is meeting the purpose or not, whether it is fulfilling the objective or not. So this is the this is how salary surveys are carried out in the organization, and based on the survey they curate the salary policies or pay structures for the organization. And the next one is pay grade system. So what is pay grade? See, every grade means basically levels. So every level in the organization, so that has a different pay scale assigned to it. Now how this pay scale is assigned or pay grade is differentiated with one another is based on the amount an employee will receive. Okay, so each grade will have different amount, basic pay. So how this amount is differentiated? Basically it is differentiated by three things: the amount of responsibility a person holds, the amount of authority he has, and also the time length of the employee, how many years he has spent here in the organization. So based on these three things, the grade of a person will be decided, and according to every grade, a definite, or you can say a range of pay scale will be decided. So this is another method. So based on responsibility, authority, and the tenure of the employee in the company, you can set different pay scales, or you can curate pay structures accordingly. And the last method is variable pay or performance pay. Like the name suggests, performance based pay is tied to employees' contribution to the company, how they perform. Let's say there's a salesperson or car salesperson, so he'll be getting incentives by the number of car he sells in a month. So if no car is sold, then the business will not generate any revenue. So employee also cannot have that incentive. So it is directly proportional. Employee performance with respect to organization performance, or you can say revenue. So in performance based pay, irrespective of your tenure in the organization, skills you possess, unless you do not perform as expected, you will not be paid. So these are all the various methods you can use while strategizing your pay policies, or you can say curating your strategic pay structures, or you can say making strategic pay decisions in the organization. And the next one is best practice versus best fit. Now we all know in benchmarking it means that adopting best practices. Now another thing to consider here is, just because some XYZ company is doing wonderfully well in the market and you want to adopt those strategies, it may not go down well with your organization. Because see, best practice, fine, it is the best practice. It is that organization has all the you can say resources or the conditions, prerequisites which can implement those best practices and do well. Not necessary every organization has same prerequisites. So we should see that whatever practices we are implementing in our organization, they are adaptable and they can be implemented. So it's like that. So otherwise what happens, in order to adjust to the best practices, you will have to change so many components of your organization, and that will create chaos and havoc. So people cannot adjust to things. So just because one practice, you saw some good recruitment policy in some company and they're doing well, that recruitment policy might work for that company, it may not work the same way to your company as well. So now everything changes, right from the culture, the people, the technology, the adaptability. So all these things are very important while implementing something, or you can say changing something, or accepting something new in the organization. So we should see that whatever practices we are trying to implement, they are in alignment with organization objectives, organization values, culture, and your competency of your people. Otherwise it will never work, no matter how good that practice is. So before trying to implement, before trying to experiment with the benchmarking, or applying the best practices, it's always necessary to understand how fit it is for our organization and how well we'll be able to cope with it. So that's about your strategic decisions. That's it for today. Thank you.